They shoved him into the dirt, laughed as his German shepherd whimpered in pain. Badges shining. Cameras off. Witnesses silent. What those corrupt cops didn't know was that the quiet stranger bleeding on the pavement had survived wars they couldn't imagine. And the dog they kicked once saved dozens of lives on the battlefield. Stay till the end, because when the truth comes out, justice won't arrive with sirens, it will arrive with silence, discipline, and consequences. The cops thought it was just another nobody passing through town. No ID checked. No respect shown. Just power and cruelty. But when the German shepherd tried to stand between its owner and the batons, one officer sneered and said, "Control your mutt or I'll put it down." That was the moment. The stranger's calm eyes changed. Because warriors don't explode immediately. They wait. The town of Red Hollow was the kind of place where police sirens were rare but fear was common. Authority ruled not through law, but intimidation. People looked down when patrol cars passed. Questions were never asked. The stranger arrived just before sunset, wearing worn boots and a faded jacket. At his side walked a German shepherd, old, scarred but alert. The dog stayed close, matching every step like a shadow trained by war. They stopped near a closed gas station. The man knelt, sharing the last of his water with the dog. That simple act was what drew attention. A cruiser slowed. Then another. 3 officers stepped out. Smirks first. Hands on batons second. "What's your business here?" one asked, already deciding the answer didn't matter. The stranger replied calmly, "Just passing through." That tone, steady, respectful, somehow offended them more. They demanded ID. He reached slowly. Too slowly for their liking. The first shove came hard. The dog barked, moving between them instinctively. A boot struck the shepherd's ribs. The sound was sharp. Final. The dog didn't bite. Didn't attack. He stood his ground, trained discipline overpowering instinct. People watched from cars. From windows. No one intervened. They slammed the man to the pavement. Knees on his back. Cuffs too tight. Laughter loud. "What are you gonna do?" one officer mocked. "Call your buddies?" The man said nothing. Blood ran from his eyebrow. His eyes stayed clear. Inside his head were memories, deserts, mountains, brothers who never came home. He had learned long ago that reacting too soon cost lives. They released him with threats and false charges scribbled onto a clipboard. As they drove off, the man knelt beside his dog, hands shaking, not with fear, but rage held in chains. He whispered only 2 words. "Still with me?" The German shepherd licked his hand. They thought they got away with it. Paperwork falsified. Reports rewritten. A hero framed as a troublemaker. What they didn't know was that every move they made was being quietly documented. Every lie timed. Every name remembered. And when the reckoning finally came, it didn't come with violence. It came with truth. That night, the stranger didn't sleep. He cleaned the dog's wounds carefully. Each scar told a story. Bombs found. Soldiers saved. Orders followed without question. The next morning, he walked into a federal building 2 towns over. He didn't raise his voice. Didn't accuse. He placed medals on the desk. A Navy SEAL trident. Service records. Bodycam timestamps recovered from cloud backups. The room went silent. By the end of the week, Internal Affairs arrived in Red Hollow. Witnesses suddenly found courage. Videos surfaced. Reports unraveled. The officers denied everything, until evidence spoke louder than badges. They were suspended. Then charged. The town watched as power collapsed under truth. The stranger was offered apologies. Compensation. Public recognition. He refused the spotlight. He stood one last time at the edge of town, German shepherd heeled, tail wagging softly. A local boy asked him, "Why didn't you fight back?" The man smiled gently. "Because real strength," he said, "is knowing when to strike, and when to let justice do the work." They walked away quietly. But Red Hollow was never the same again. Because fear had been replaced with accountability. And silence had finally spoken. They didn't see a hero. They saw an easy target. A stranger. A tired dog. A quiet town used to abuse. The badges shined. The truth didn't. What happened that evening wasn't about law enforcement. It was about power without conscience. About men who believed uniforms made them untouchable. But war teaches patience. The man had faced death before. He knew anger clouds judgment. Discipline reveals it. And when they hurt his dog, the one soul that had guarded his back in gunfire and chaos, he didn't lash out. He waited. Because the strongest warriors don't need to prove themselves in the street. They let truth do the damage. When justice finally arrived, it wasn't loud. No fists thrown. No guns drawn. Just records. Evidence. Integrity. And the fall of men who forgot why they wore the badge. This story isn't about revenge. It's about restraint. Loyalty. And the quiet power of doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Remember this. Not every hero looks dangerous. Not every warrior wants a fight. And sometimes, the calmest man in the room is the one you should never underestimate. If today's story touched your heart, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And remember, even a small act of kindness can change someone's entire life. Red Heart.